This is week 51, and these are my words. And this week I want to talk about making decisions, because it's so difficult for so many people to be able to make a decision. And I think there's a bit of a process that is actually involved in decision making. And people who are very fast to be able to make decisions, I think, utilize this process. I tend to be particularly good at making decisions. Once I've made up my mind, I sort of stick to it. But what I think that I do that's a good side of that is that I'm willing to be wrong and change. So once I've made a decision and I've stuck to it, then I can go back and say, you know what, this isn't working. I'm going to move past it. I think that can be good. But what I think is so important when making decisions is to not get caught up in the flipping, flopping sort of inability to make the decision of going back and forth. So once you've narrowed down what your choices are, and sometimes there's more than just two, many times there's only two choices. Cut your hair or don't cut your hair, right? But other times there's many choices. Cut your hair, don't cut your hair, dye your hair, shave your head, whatever. All sorts of different things that you could do. And so you can run the pros and cons for the decisions that you're making, but sometimes you just have to listen to that inner voice, that gut instinct that tells you what you really already know to be true. And what I do, my process when I make a decision, especially when it's a big decision, like something that's going to cost me a lot of money, or that's using a lot of my time, or a decision that's hard to make, what I try to do is I try to think forward into the future as to what it is that I want, so that when I'm looking back at this decision, I go, yes, getting a new car or cutting my hair or helping this friend out is more important than whatever else is compared to that in that given moment. And I think everyone really actually likes being able to have a choice. I think choice is something that we as humans really respond to. I think when we don't have choice is when we start to feel out of control. And so being in the process of being able to make a decision is our ultimate human freedom, because that's where we shine as human beings with every faculty that we have to better ourselves and make our lives as worthwhile and meaningful as we can. And you'll notice that when you give a small child a choice, they almost never throw a tantrum and get upset. They almost always pick their most happy choice and stick to it. And it's very exciting to see that. And I think when we get older, we get caught up in the, am I doing it right? How is this going to affect everyone? What's going to happen? And it gets really, really difficult to make a decision. But when we boil it down to what we really want, what's true to who we are and where we're going, what our plan is for our goal, because life changes every moment of every day. And every moment of every day is a choice. You're making the choice to watch this video. You're making the choice to eat the food you're eating. You're making the choice to get on Facebook or play a game or go to the movies or write your novel or go back to school or study another language. Whatever it is that's important to you, that's your choice. And you make that choice every moment of every day. And I think that choice should be celebrated and making a decision should be celebrated. And it's very important to me to make decisions and to move past the indecision into action, because that's where life really comes alive and starts taking shape. So how do you make decisions? Where do you feel that you get stuck? Where do you feel that you succeed particularly well? And thank you again so much for watching. Next week is the last one. Thanks for joining me this whole time. I'll talk to you guys then. Bye.